Greetings to all of the bootstrappers out there, and also to our very important kiddos. I don't know, that was tried with kind of an old fashioned radio voice, and I'm not sure that worked, but welcome just the same. Hey, we want to give a shout out to our very important kiddo, who is
Egan.
Mr. Tegan.
I need to work on being more excited.
Yeah.
Tegan! Woohoo! There we go. There's some excitement.
Tegan, you the man. Okay. So moving on. What do we got today? Oh, that's right. You're gonna scrum first, as we talk about business. It's what's for dinner.
I mean, guess we wouldn't start off really at the scrum. Let's chat about this first. Father, we had a conversation about business over the dinner table today. And if any of you guys...
Whoa. Last night we had a discussion about business for dinner. Yeah.
Yep. And if any of you guys have ever played Monopoly over the dinner table, you would know it turns out much in a war.
Yeah, we actually had a wonderful discussion. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a person who really enjoys a good debate, and we had a healthy debate. I should have put debate. It's what's for dinner, probably. But we had a really healthy debate. Austin, what two topics did we debate yesterday?
We debated about weighted versus non-weighted averages for our archetype, so our business archetype. And then we discussed whether or not our personakins should be named the way we are naming our personakins.
Yeah, and, after a healthy debate, I think Connor had the best argument of anybody, and he was the one that at least cemented things for me that we should be using weighted average in our decision making consistently. And his argument was that by using the weighted average, Trish and I, who certainly hold the majority decision making shares, can effectively and efficiently be the rudder that keeps the business pointed in a common direction while allowing everybody else to slowly impact and reshape the business. So he really pointed out to us that is the right blend, the right balanced approach to moving the business forward without being disruptive at the same time. So I liked it. And I've also observed that using a weighted average doesn't just mean what dad thinks or what mom thinks goes. Really, it was the combination of all of us that ended up defining most of the archetypes. And then we got to this point where we had to go back and forth on a couple of them. So I was really happy with the results, actually. Any thoughts, Austin?
Father, I guess at this point, since I've conceded, as long as you don't become the boat anchor, I'm happy.
Yeah, okay. I have a thought on that, but I'm not going to share it. Okay, so the other topic we talked about was
personakins, and should we be naming them like you name your Smurfs?
Yes. So Austin and I always have had some names like Brainykin and Providerkin and Handykin and Homemakerkin and Papakin. Those were the names that we've always thought of. But what did Josh present to us, Austin?
Josh believes that those aren't names, and instead we should have a name and those be their occupation.
But he did concede they could be the middle names, just not their first names. And so we went from Handykin to Hankkin to Hank the Handykin. And finally, I think the derivative version was Hank Handykin. Now, Austin doesn't like Hank Handykin. Austin is really holding tight to Handykin without a name. And so we might have to continue debating for dinner tonight what those names should look like. Okay. Any other thoughts on business at dinner, Austin?
All I know is I want dinner. Sadly, it's a little early for that.
Hey, steak and eggs for breakfast.
Anyway, let's hop right into that scrum that you were talking about. And yesterday I got deeper into the metrics and I threw some things out and changed some things for what metrics we should be measuring. And I'll show them to Dad in a second after this. But,
Can I just say we should have shared what the moral of the story is?
oh,
It just dawned on me. We told you this whole story about dinner, and then we didn't even share a moral. And I think the moral of the story was,
more brains in a room makes changes. And they're usually good changes.
okay, yeah, I like counseling together, but I was gonna go with your weighted averages in your business decisions, because when you go with the weighted averages, as Connor said, we get stability, we get the staying power of direction with augmentation of new insight and new ideas to keep the boat anchor dragging along the bottom. Okay, moral of the story done. Sorry, Austin, you're up.
Anyway, I've strengthened our social followers, and I recognize that one of the metrics can be combined into our other ones, and that being the call to action. Measuring your call to action. Today, I feel like we can work a little bit on the collective aspirational identities, but I feel like that'll probably be a bit of. I feel like we should probably look at these both collectively.
I felt like the collective aspirational identity was effectively defined um, yesterday through our conversations, but that's my scrum. Finish your scrum.
Anyway, uh, continue working on the metrics and probably do some. What's the word for it? Coordination.
Collaboration.
Collaboration with Dad with them, since at this point that's our only goal left.
Okay. Roadblocks. What's in the way?
Party time.
Down, 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 down.
No.
No. Okay, that was sad. Okay, so yesterday, I led multiple discussions on determining our collective aspirational identity. Now, I was kind of defining that task as being done, having defined that, hey, we now have an aspirational identity, which is that we are a creator, sage, magician. Those are our primary, secondary, and tertiary archetypes. And I've even got some feelings of how they go together. Now, I think Austin felt like this aspirational identity would go farther. And I just want to point out that if we look at our OPEM, we do have here identity. Where is it, Austin? Oh, it must be part of the professional goal transformation. Yeah, what are individual and collective aspirational identities? We decided to push the individual identities down into the team section, and then we talk about how we measure progress to know when we've achieved our aspirational identity. And so, but the reason why I'm okay leaving it a little bit loose today is because we got another discussion about it next week. And then when we come down here, we have brand personality and stuff like that. And so it might almost be that those are swapped, that we're looking more at brand personality now. And when we get down here, sorry, other way around. Yeah, brand personality now. And then I just can't keep myself organized here, Austin. The professional goals, owner transformation, archetype thing, our aspirational identities, get more clarity down here. Um, so I feel pretty good actually about where the professional goals and owner transformation are going, and just do the archetypes and get more into it down here with our brand personality and team. So, Austin, I don't know where you're at, but that's where I'm at.
Well, the one question I had was, did we ever vote on doing 3 or 2?
Um, well, I proposed to multiple times, and nobody had any feedback except for you, and you said, "We have to learn how to solve our problems now."
Right, that wasn't about the 2.
Yeah. Because I said, well, maybe we should just go with 2.
No,
And you. Go ahead.
can I explain?
No.
We needed.
Go ahead.
He's not part of the picture anymore. Welcome to the Austin Business Live Stream. Anyway, can I say what I was trying to explain? Or
Yeah.
do you want to say what you were trying to explain
Go
first?
ahead. I don't even remember what I was going to say.
What I mean is we needed to decide whether or not we were doing weighted averages versus not weighted averages, because in the long run, that is going to affect our business. So that is what I was discussing. I didn't say in terms of whether or not we should do the 2 or 3. I just thought we needed to make that decision because it was going to be a problem that would continually pop up.
Okay. I think if we're doing Creator Sage Mage, it really doesn't make a huge difference because the Sage and Mage have enough in common that the Magician is just adding a little bit of flavor to it. In fact, I call it a Creator Mage oftentimes. So I consider it a non-issue at this point where we were able to make a decision.
Okay.
You feel good about that? Okay. Okay, so today, basically, a couple of things. Austin said, hey, we need to talk about the individual and collective aspirational identities. And so that's true. Or sorry, other way around. We need to talk about the metrics. He wants to collaborate on the metrics, so we need to do some collaboration there. We have Connor's R&R conflict resolved for the long term. I don't know if we've got it resolved for this week, so we need to talk about that because that'll be tomorrow. That potential conflict with our live retrospective and R&R. What does the other R stand for? R&R review and retrospective. So we got to look at that. I also need to make sure to get some configuration updates here on the shortcuts to support solo mode, and I'd also like to add support that when we're in even together, that we can have a picture that's just Austin or just James without any content, so that I can sneak a drink in from time to time because I talk too much. So got to do that, and also get the compressor set up on the stream to eliminate clipping when I get too excited.
I apologize for your ears. He did not need to do that to you.
Okay, well, the compressor will help with that. So it's really, there's still a lot of busy stuff to do in the next 36 hours. Can we do it? Okay. What's in the way? I do have to go to the office today, and tomorrow we do have a graduation. Connor's graduating from high school. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, that's the president's song. What's the graduation song?
There's the graduation song.
Okay, I'll figure that out later. I think it's called Pomp and Circumstance, but I don't remember it. And so we'll feature that, I guess, tomorrow after graduation. Which I guess just brings us to one last thing we need to do, Austin.
Discuss how you care about your middle child more than your oldest.
well, I care about my younger even more than him, so it's all about the youngins. But no, speaking of youngins, we need to talk about our very important kiddo, Tegan, and spin that wheel, right?
Yep.
Okay, are we ready to spin the wheel?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it then. I'll bring that up. You hit the spinner. We're only spinning once today because Austin's spinning. And here we go, round and round and round it goes. Where it stops, the computer knows. Okay, so Tegan, we have an eye patch for you. Make sure to give us a big pirate arg, or sing the pirate hymn, whichever you prefer. That's all I've got. Austin, it's your show to wrap up, so.
Well, then I guess I'll have to say, I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you did, leave a like, follow, subscribe, and or comment, and enjoy your afternoon.
That's all, folks.